everybody, it's Calxiyn here with a RWBY theory. This is going to be different from my other videos since this is kind of pre-recorded instead of live with Hunter. Basically, I'm going to explain this cool theory I have for you guys, but first, shout out to my current Patreons, Huntsman tier, patron Edwin, who actually inspired us to do a series. If you haven't seen that, that is the Do You Ship It series that we have up on our channel as of this recording. So anyway, I noticed something after doing the analysis video with Hunter last Saturday, depending on when you guys saw this, and this is spoiler territory, obviously, even the title might be spoiler territory, but as Tyrian is about to take Ruby's eye out, at least that's what I think that he was planning to do, his eyes actually change purple, but nobody has any idea why. And this isn't the only time this happens. Like, other RWBY fans have taken screenshots of every time his eyes change. And so a couple of us in the comment section and on Tumblr and stuff have been kind of discussing, okay, like, what's going on here? Like, what is this nonsense? So, Slipsnot on one of my videos actually commented and said this: I feel like he was gonna poison Ruby or something because poison is usually affiliated with the color purple. And I'm totally on board with this kind of line of thinking theory, but technically scorpions are not poisonous, they're venomous.
The distinction between venom and poison is purely in the method of delivery. Poison has to be inhaled, ingested, or absorbed, and venom has to be injected into a wound. Chemically, venoms and poisons are both considered toxins. So a snake bite is venomous. A poisoned dart frog is poisonous.
But yeah, scorpions are venomous according to science. Scorpion venom is a neurotoxin, and that's a chemical that affects the nervous system, ultimately either killing or paralyzing their prey. So poison probably wouldn't paralyze you in most cases, since the scorpion venom is kind of special in that way that it is a neurotoxin and that affects the nervous system, and the nervous system controls your body, which means it would stop you from doing your normal nervous system-y things, and it would instead paralyze her so she wouldn't be able to move so he could take her away. Now, here's the complicated part, because now we're getting into the eye changing, and I couldn't find any information on color-changing scorpions. The creators could have put that in for a different reason that has nothing to do with real scorpions, instead just how eye color changes work in Remnant, or other kind of color changes that occur in the wild.
Turning colors are good for the prey animal and good for the predator. Basically, bold colors and patterns tell predators to find their lunch somewhere else.
And a couple characters in RWBY kind of actually do this to warn their prey, depending on what you define as prey. For example, Adam starts glowing to warn his prey, you may say. We don't know if this is a faunus thing or because of his semblance or if it was the dust glowing. Like, we don't really know yet. So push Adam aside for a minute, but we do know that someone glows, someone glows, and someone also has a color change that has nothing to do with dust and more to do with semblance, and that is Yang. Yang warns her prey when her eyes turn red, because that's a signal for those fighting her.
You wouldn't like her when she's upset.
And so that's a signal that obviously, like, something bad is gonna happen, and we don't know why that is. Like, if this is a faunus thing, I guess we'll find out later, but Yang, as far as we know, is not a faunist. So far, anyway. But that may just be a part of the semblance that was developed over time because of mutation and all of these other things. And it's a really good one, because if you see someone with glowing red eyes, are you gonna go towards them? The answer, most likely, is probably no. We also see characters like Neo who can change her eye color. They turn white when she's scared, which sort of reminds me of an action similar to an octopus. Neo sort of inks when she's afraid, and her eyes give that away. Maybe the Grimm could kind of see that she has these wide eyes and that might scare them or something like that. Because, I mean, if I saw a wide-eyed person, like, let's be real, guys, we'd be afraid if somebody just had the whites of their eyes, because that's kind of how Nia looks when she's like that. And Calxiyn, also, when he gets angry, happy, or upset, his eyes change as well, and that could signal other people, hey, I'm angry right now, don't come near me, or I'm happy right now, I'm happy to see you, whatever. And we don't know if the Grimm recognize changes of eye color. We know that with Ruby's silver eyes, the Grimm are supposed to be super afraid of her because they could be taken down in a single strike, but we don't know if that's because the Grimm know, hey, she has silver eyes and that's super scary because Ruby just destroys everything, or if it's like an actual fear and then that they see silver and they want to run. But other eye color changes could have been made sort of to mimic that. So we don't really know if this is a Faunus trait or if this is just a, you know, semblance kind of mutation over time in order to scare the Grimm. But we could do a separate video on whether the eye changing thing is inherently for Faunus, but that would require some digging, and we would have to prove that Yang, Neo, and Calxiyn are all Faunus. Now Hunter and I are just, we're gonna talk about this theory, because we know Hunter loves talking. So Hunter, you just listen to me.
So you're trying to say that only Faunus can have eye coloring change? Because I'd like to, you know, point you to almost every other character that has changing colored eyes.
No, I'm saying that it could be possible that Faunus have this development in order to scare prey away, because that's more of an animalistic trait. And so if it's an animalistic trait, then animals would have it, then Faunus would have it. But this seems to be more tied to semblance and scaring away the Grimm, because the Grimm are what they're trying to run away from. So it's possible that humans could also have developed this with their semblance in order to scare the Grimm away.
Well, the problem is that Faunus only have one Faunus trait, so implying that, you know, changing colors of their eyes would be a Faunus trait would mean that they would have two, which I don't think quite works.
But then
so
we have Tyrian and his eye color change. And
yeah,
so
but
is
maybe
his poison part of his semblance, or is that because he's a scorpion, or
but
his venom? Correction.
You also have people like Calxiyn and Neo and Yang, to our understanding, especially Yang, we can assume at this point isn't.
Well, that's for another theory.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Point is, no, I don't think that's a Faunus thing.
Maybe not Faunus, but then a human semblance development in order to scare the Grimm away. Because animals are usually afraid of whatever tries to hunt them.
That could make more sense. Because,
so if we're talking about the Grimm, yeah.
That would make more sense. I could see that happening, although in all honesty, RWBY does just have a thing for characters with multiple colored eyes, or the significance thereof of their eyes. So it could mean a lot of things.
That's true. Because I see maybe that people wouldn't be able to mimic the silver eye color. As far as we know, it's hereditary, and nobody else could have that mutate. Like, maybe they could, but as far as we know, only the silver eye warriors got mutated to have silver eyes and have these powers, right? And so that seems to be more of a magic thing that we don't need to involve genetics in. But you would try to mimic something that would scare away the Grimm as much as the silver eyes, right? Like if you're in the wild and you're like, oh, these silver-eyed guys, like they're badass. Maybe if I turn my eyes red, it might work. You know what I mean? I know that's not how evolution works, guys, but just like theoretically over how many years that Remnant has existed, maybe they figured out, you know, I got a mutation that turned my eyes red. The Grimm are kind of scared of it now. Now I have offspring that also have red eyes that freak the fuck out of the Grimm, you know? But as far as Tyrian goes, I think it's kind of evident that's why his eyes turn purple. Like, there is no other explanation other than he's trying to poison someone.
Yeah, I mean, my theory at the end of the day, it's probably going to be more like Yang, how whilst, like, aggressive in a fight, like with Yang, her eyes turned red with her semblance. But I think you are right that maybe there is something.
The only thing with Yang, though, is that it's permanent. Like, it goes throughout the whole fight, but Tyrion's eyes change was sporadic enough for us to have to rewatch the episode 3 times to kind of see it.
Yeah, there's some truth to that.
And so that's why I can't get on board with it's a Yang thing, it's just happening because, like, he's aggressive or crazy or whatever we want to call it. I don't think that emotion has a lot at play here. It seems to be more of, I'm gonna venom you If you enjoyed this video, give it a like so the YouTube algorithm won't screw me over. I'm gonna say that at the end of every video until this whole situation is resolved. If you have a question or comment about this theory, go ahead and post it down below. If you guys want to support me on Patreon, there's a link in the description. And again, shout out to Patreon Edwin, who's making all this possible right now. He's the only one. Yeah, we'll see you next time, guys. Even if Hunter may not be too on board with the theory stuff, I live for it. I love it. Like, I am immersed in it. And so if you guys have something that you want me to cover, be sure to put that down in the description and I'll think about it. But if you want a guarantee, then you can Patreon me and I will gladly take your money. Anyway, Hunter, do you want to say bye?
Good work.
Just say bye.
Bye.